that George?
Oh, I think so.
Dick!
Just a minute, George. Coming. Just a minute. George, what is it?
Oh, good. I'm glad you're up. You gotta come quick.
What's going on?
Out back. You've gotta come see.
See what?
Out back.
See what out back?
Come on, you'll see. Hurry! It's this way. Follow me.
George, we know where out back is.
What's going on?
Don't know. We're running out back.
Why?
Don't know.
Well, I'm coming with you.
Watch your step through here. There are lots of chairs and tables.
We know that, George.
Come on, hurry. Come on, you gotta see this.
See what, George?
Oh, shoot.
What's the matter?
It's gone.
What's gone?
The thing in the woods.
What thing?
I'm not sure.
George, what are you talking about?
I was in bed asleep, and all of a sudden I woke up and couldn't remember whether I'd closed the garage doors. Well, you know me. There was no going back to sleep until I'd checked. Boy, caretaking. So I put on my robe and boots and went down the back steps to check. Oh, yeah, and I got my flashlight.
George, would you please get to the point?
I am, Dick. As I was coming around the corner of the garage, I saw some kind of a thing in the woods. It was all shiny with lights, and it came up out of the trees and just hovered there.
Sounds like a helicopter.
Well, it wasn't a helicopter, Dick. It didn't make any noise. And when I say lights, I mean hundreds of lights.
Well, maybe it was a blimp.
Well, it wasn't shaped like a blimp.
How big was this thing?
Oh, big. What do you mean by big?
Was it bigger than a car?
Oh, yes. Well, what kind of a car?
Whatever you saw, George, it's gone now.
Dick, what do you think it was?
Could have been anything. Could be swamp gas, weather balloon, invaders from another planet.
Dick.
Well, whatever it was, I'm sure there's a logical explanation.
Hey, what's going on out here?
Oh, nothing.
I saw a UFO
That's not for sure, George.
A UFO? Where?
in the woods.
Yeah, but it's gone now. Everything's fine.
He really saw a UFO?
Well, we don't know what he saw, but whatever he saw, it's gone now, and we're not going to find out what it was at this late hour. Leslie, why don't you show the Tylers back to their room? In fact, why don't we all try to get some sleep, and we'll check it out in the morning.
But if you saw a UFO...
Well, we'll deal with it in the morning.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good night. Well, I'm sorry I bothered you, but I thought you should know.
George, don't be sorry. We're glad you feel comfortable enough with us, so if something's bothering you, you feel like you can tell us about it. Right, Dick?
Right. No matter how ungodly an hour it is.
I was just afraid if I waited till morning, I wouldn't know whether it actually happened or whether I dreamed it.
Well, at least now you know you didn't dream it.
Unless I'm dreaming this.
Why don't you go to bed, George?
I'll try. Night.
Good night, George.
All right. Oh, come on.
Dick, what do you really think it was?
I don't know. I always hate getting up in the middle of the night. I feel terrible the next day.
No, Dick, it's possible that what George saw was real. There have been a lot of UFO sightings in Vermont in the last year.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose we were being visited. Why would people from another planet pick Vermont?
Schools.
Come on, honey, I'm serious.
Honey, can we try to get back to sleep?
What if there is such a thing as life on other planets?
We aren't going to get back to sleep, are we?
Well, I mean, it's just so incredible to think about. I mean, suppose there are two creatures just like us somewhere out there in the universe.
Well, I hope the one like me is getting some sleep.
Leslie, This French toast is fantastic. It makes me feel like I'm back in Paris.
When were you in Paris, Kirk?
Once during the toast season.
Morning, everybody.
Morning. I'll get you breakfast.
Oh, my. Is this a joke, or are you two planning to look that way all day?
I didn't get much sleep last night, Kirk.
Oh, how come? Passion, barking dog, family tragedy?
George saw something last night and woke us up, and we couldn't get back to sleep.
What did he see?
We're not sure, just unidentified object in the woods that appeared to be flying.
You're saying George saw a spaceship?
We're not saying that.
That's crazy.
Here you go.
How about you, Leslie? Did you see any Martians last night?
You told Kirk?
Yes. But don't you tell anyone else. This isn't the kind of thing we should be talking about in front of the GUESTS.
Good, Dick. We can spell, but they can't.
All I'm trying to say, until we find out what it is, let's not get everybody excited.
Well, I don't think anyone's going to be excited because crazy George saw a spaceship.
Quit saying crazy and spaceship. I mean, that's just what I'm worried about. That with a guy like George, people are going to make fun of him. The quieter we keep this, the better.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, George.
Hi, George.
Hi, George. How are you this morning?
Fine.
I'll get you breakfast.
That's okay. I'm not very hungry this morning.
Are you still upset about last night?
Well, I guess a little. Did you tell him?
About the moon men?
Kirk, please.
After I left your room, I couldn't get back to sleep.
I wouldn't be concerned, George. Whatever it is, I'm sure there's an explanation.
I bet I know the explanation.
You do?
Yes. George, do you ever find yourself looking forward to having a drink?
Look, George, we're going to get this cleared up today. Dick's going to go into town with you, and you'll check with the sheriff and the airport, the weather bureau, the local radio station. We're going to see if anybody else saw what you saw.
George, do you find yourself only associating with people who enjoy alcohol?
Eat your toast, Kirk. George, it would help if you can give us a description of what you saw.
All I know is it was shiny with lights and hovered, and it was shaped something like,
Like a bottle?
George, was it shaped like a saucer?
No, it was more like a cup. It came up out of the trees like this and just hovered there for a minute without making any noise. That was when I ran up and got you guys. I was only gone a second, so it must have just taken off. Boom! I'm sorry. I'll go clean that up.
Sounds like bourbon brains to me.
According to this, there have been over 400 UFO sightings in the state of Vermont.
Really?
Yeah. The first one was in 1937 by a nurse, Rachel Kent. The next one was in 1941 by a retired Air Force Colonel, John Singer. Then, between 1944 and 1956, there were 84 sightings by a guy named Willie Nugget. I guess we can't count Willie.
I don't think so.
Hello?
Oh, hi, Mr. Pfeiffer.
Hello.
Could we have our bill, please? We're going to check out.
Oh, fine. Don't move. Hope you enjoyed your stay.
We had a wonderful time. My wife loved this place.
I'm glad.
Yes, I never heard her go on so. She loved the bedspreads, the curtains, the towels, the pillow shams. I mean, you name it, she loved it.
Well, good. Then I hope we'll be seeing you again.
I'm sure you will.
I'm ready, honey.
What's that, dear?
Our dirty clothes. Come on, let's go.
What dirty clothes? All our stuff is in the suitcase.
Will you just shut up and come on?
Mrs. Pfeiffer? You wouldn't by any chance be taking our towels and our bedspread and our pillow shams, would you?
Dorothy.
What?
I can't believe you're stealing from these people. Now, you put that down right now and get out to the car.
Then you give them back their pens.
Give them back their pens. And their ashtrays, too. And their light bulbs. Now, you satisfied? Come on, let's get out of here while we still have some shred of dignity left.
We had a lovely time.
And if you think I'm going to take you on another vacation, you're living in a dream world.
That's outrageous. How can people live like that?
Pretty cheaply, I imagine. Oh, good, you're back. What'd you find out?
Nothing. We talked to the sheriff and the people at the airport. No one reported anything. There were no weather balloons or planes in the area. Whatever it was, there doesn't seem to be any explanation.
According to them, I'm the only one who saw anything.
So what do you do now?
I don't know.
The sheriff and the people at the airport said that they have groups that investigate things like this.
You mean one of those UFO societies?
I think I should warn you, George, if you take it that far, you may be opening yourself up to a lot of ridicule and embarrassment.
But, Dick, if I saw something, don't I have a duty to report it?
I think George is right. Besides, there's always going to be a small group of ignorant people who are going to make fun of something like this. What's that?
Looks like a rock with a note tied to it.
What does it say?
George Utley is a nut.
Now, who would do something like that?
Signed the sheriff and the people at the airport. No, I'm sorry, George Utley isn't here. Can I take a message? I'm not going to take that message. Who is this? No, don't say a friend. I want your name. I mean, if you're going to use language like that, I want to know who you are. Because I want to know the kind of disgusting, small-minded coward I'm talking to. Muffin? Okay, Muffin, look. If you have something nasty to say about George, why don't you just tie it to a rock like everybody else? Sorry, George. I hope it didn't bother you. Just one crank.
You mean one more crank?
George, I know this is hard, but believe me, in 6 months, you'll look back on this and laugh.
I hope so. That'll give me something in common with the rest of the town.
Stratford Inn. I assume by Buck Rogers you're referring to our caretaker? No, he isn't here. Oh, really? Well, let me tell you something. It's people like you that give people a bad name.
What was that all about?
Oh, just another crank. I've heard from every crackpot and loose screw in the county. Oh, your mother called. Not about George. She said she wanted to talk to you.
Oh, well, I'll call her.
And, by the way, at the time, I'd just gotten about 5 straight crank phone calls in a row, so, if I said anything to offend her, tell her I'm sorry.
Okay.
Specifically, I may have used the words Cyclops and Chowderhead. Where have you two been?
We went for a walk in the woods.
Looking for landing sites, huh?
Well, we just felt so badly about George, we wanted to see if we could help.
You find anything?
The remnants of a campsite. But I doubt that aliens would have come all this way just to drink light beer.
How'd you do with the UFO Society?
Oh, they were very sympathetic, but they said with no evidence to support George's claim, there really wasn't anything they could do.
Dick, with no evidence, do you think George really did see something?
I think he believes he saw something.
But do you believe he saw something?
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, what matters is that George is my friend, and I believe in that. Oh, great, another crank.
Let me take care of this one.
Thanks.
Hello? No, George Utley is not here. May I take a message? Really? You believe him? You saw it too? Oh, this is great. George is going to be so happy. I'll have him call you the minute he comes in. May I have your name? Willie Nugget.
Could I get another cup of coffee, please?
I'll beam it right over.
Mom, is that the man who saw the spaceship?
Shush, now eat your lunch.
Can I go talk to him?
No,
Why not? He's famous.
he's a kook. Eat your lunch.
Oh, there you are, George. I've been looking for you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dick. I was depressed, so I came over here.
Didn't realize you were that depressed.
Hi, Dick. What's up?
Just came over to ask George if you wanted to come home for lunch.
Right. Heaven forbid he should have anything over here.
That's okay. I'm not hungry, Dick.
George, you have to eat.
But not here, right, Dick?
I didn't mean anything against the cafe, Kirk.
I thought I'd stay here for a while. I got tired of hearing the phone ring and you saying I wasn't there when I was. I thought if I wasn't there, you could say I wasn't there and I wouldn't be.
George, I'm sorry you have to go through this.
That's my own fault. I should have just kept my mouth shut.
How you doing, Kirk?
Hey, Kirk.
What's happening?
Come on, George, let's go.
Hey, I saw a space shuttle parked out front. Is that yours, George?
George, are you sure you don't want to go home?
What do you think those spacemen wanted with George, huh?
Well, they were probably looking for a higher form of intelligence and found George by mistake.
George, you don't have to put up with this.
They don't bother me, Dick.
Well, they bother me.
You know, maybe George is from outer space, huh?
He could be. He's always got that hat on. Maybe there's a couple of antennas under there.
He could be from out of this world. He's out of his mind.
Okay, that's it. I've heard enough out of you guys.
Oh, yeah?
Pretty much, yeah.
Maybe he wants to teach you a lesson.
You better look out, Jack. That's Dick Loudon, the writer you're tangling with. He may have a pen.
Come on, Philip, let's get out of here.
I want to see this.
I told you the man is a kook. Now move.
No, no one's leaving. I have something I want to say, and I want everybody to hear it. I don't care how big you are. And that includes you, and you, and you, Kirk. I know why you're teasing George. There's something you don't understand, and so you make fun of it. Well, that makes sense. I mean, not to make fun of something like this requires things like character, sensitivity, brains. And George is an easy target. I mean, he can't prove that he saw something. But then you can't prove that he didn't, can you?
Well...
Shut up, Kirk. I don't know what George saw exactly. But even if he saw something as incredible as a flying saucer...
No, it was a cup.
Whatever, George. The point is, if he says he saw something, I'm not going to be stupid enough to say he didn't.
And for your information, there's nothing under my hat. I'm sorry, Dick. I just reached my limit.
What do you, say we get out of here?
Yeah, I could go for a pizza.
Great, let's split.
God, I love it when you come over.
Hi, George.
Hi, Dick.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
So weak.
Yeah. You know, I've been taking care of this inn for almost my whole life. And most of that time I've been alone. This is the first time that I ever really felt lonely.
You know, reporting what you saw took courage. And courage can sometimes be a lonely thing. But, I mean, at least you're not the first person to have gone through it, you know. I mean, imagine how Socrates and Joan of Arc felt.
I'm sorry, Dick. I've heard of those people, but I'm not sure what they did.
Well, they stood up for what they believed, and they were persecuted.
Did people call them nuts?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, I can sympathize with that.
And they killed him.
Whoa.
Well, it's getting kind of cold. I better get back inside. You coming?
Not just yet, thanks. Dick, do you think there's any chance that whatever it was I saw will come back?
I have to tell you the truth, George. I don't think so. Oh, what the heck? Guess we can give it another 10 minutes.